Hello everybody, welcome to another video. Always love to see what Cooler Master has to offer. They have two new cases that I'm really excited to share with you guys. But first, huge thanks to Fantex, Thermaltake and Cooler Master for making our contact trip possible. Now let's go check out the case.
Alright, so first let's start with the Cooler Master SL600M. SL stands for the Silent Series, M stands for the Maker Series. We're told it'll be maximum $220, so hopefully they can bring that down a little bit now that the Evolve X is out at $199, and it will come out in early October. This is actually the case that I'm super excited from Cooler Master because of the exterior design. It just has this futuristic paneling with aluminum frame on the exterior. Now they want your color feedback, whether or not they should stick with this like silver aluminum or they should go with something different like black. Black would look really boring. I really like the silver one, but potentially white is an option, or potentially multicolor paneling. I don't know. Let us know how you feel about the paneling color. It's the size of a full tower, but I think it's slightly taller because of the really high case feet because of new airflow direction. So the cool elements on this one include the I/O that illuminates with a wave. So there is a sensor, so as soon as you wave your hand over it, it lights up the USB ports. So in a darker environment, that's actually pretty sweet. It will also light up the power button, and that's the only illumination that they will include, despite having the Cooler Master logo on the front panel. That will not be illuminated. You okay? Dude. It's okay, you can sneeze, like just don't die. The interior motherboard layout is standard, but the power supply has moved to the front, and this allows them to place dual 200mm fans, which are included at the bottom of the case for that chimney airflow effect, as the traditional power supply shroud is missing. With this layout, you can move the power supply up and down to potentially accommodate for longer graphics cards and exhaust from the top, with a separate piece that can come off for additional exhaust that will stay on magnets. And I really like this mesh pattern on here, and the midsection we're told will include a coarser mesh for better exhaust. And so with this layout, you can do a 360 route up top and the bottom. And notice the rear section of the case where the exhaust fan is usually located. It is totally closed off to seal this area and allow for better static pressure of this top to bottom airflow. The issue though is that not all CPU towers can be rotated on the standard motherboard layout to face up. So that is something to take into account, and you cannot rotate the motherboard for that 90-degree rotation. I really like their approach with the vertical PCI brackets, which come by default, and this entire bracket can be turned 90 degrees for horizontal orientation. So the vertical layout is better for the CPU temperatures because there is more space for air to reach to the top, while horizontal is better for GPU temperatures. And then Cooler Master recommends an all-in-one for your CPU if your graphics card is horizontal. And one of the main advantages of this layout, aside from the efficient air tunnels, are noise levels, since the back of the case is totally silent while the sound will escape from the top only. And behind the motherboard tray, we have a large cover near the front, so that covers our power supply and cables. They will add a smaller cover near the bottom area, so you could potentially leave that right side panel completely off and all your cables hidden too. And this layout overall is not super efficient, since with this large tower we only have 4 HDD or SSD mounts for storage, but the verticality does allow for better airflow. I think this layout will serve very well for micro ATX or ITX systems when you can really compact the height of the tower yet still receive this lot of airflow from the bottom. Really hoping Cooler Master might go that route. Alright, so the second case is the Cosmos C700M. So the price point on this one is a little bit on the pricey side at $399, which is $100 more versus the original, which by the way, check out our review of it over here. But they have improved a few things on the exterior for that slightly refined look, plus the darker color scheme on the gray versus the original. The I/O remains the same, it's just been slightly restructured. The interior received an upgraded for the shroud, and this new Cosmos is part of the Maker series. So Cooler Master wants you to feel like a modder when working inside the case. So not everything is given to you on a platter in terms of cable management and orientation and hardware support, but you kind of have to go about your way trying to creatively think inside this enclosure. But for the exterior, we get aluminum front and top paneling with some plastic pieces still, but they are colored, so you can't even tell what they are. I love this new cool ventilation pattern up top. It's something different. The iconic Cosmos handles look awesome, and the lighting game has been upgraded with RGB strips, of course, running across all three sides from the top to the bottom underglow. The front panel is removable without cables. For that RGB lighting, we have this 4-pin toolless connection. That's appreciated. The curved glass is awesome, but it's super tinted. You can see it's reflecting everything around us and only reveals the interior if you're actually lighting the interior. The rear side panel is still solid, and this case will come with 4 140mm fans. Now the interior layout has changed a little bit because the power supply shroud now spans the full bottom side instead of splitting into the different panel like we saw with the original. And they're really pushing the whole chimney airflow effect because the shroud is ventilated and you can install fans at the bottom for intake. But the two weird elements on the new Cosmos include a fully modular interior motherboard tray. So aside from having the option to invert the layout like we saw in the original, you can now rotate it 90 degrees with the motherboard I/O facing down. Now sure, it opens up some doors for creative and unique builds, but the motherboard I/O is literally inaccessible if you want to plug in USB or audio. Now they might include adapters for this orientation, but it's really inconvenient if you want to simply plug in your mouse or speakers or something like that. You literally cannot access that I/O. At least the rotation is not difficult on this frame, and hopefully they'll include visual markers on the mounting joints. Now you also see this new GPU bracket that is vertical and has a little swivel action. Let us know if you like this design by separating one of your cards to a different part of the case. It is quite different, especially because you don't really compromise on airflow since you can have front intake to cool the GPU where it is currently located, and it can also be installed on the power supply shroud. Now the catch, however, with this panel is that the swivel bracket itself is included with the $399 price point, but the riser cable is not. So if you want to go that route, you'll have to buy the one which is $40 on top of the current price. And for storage, we have 5 hard drive caddies that you can mount where the GPU is currently located, alongside 4 SSDs throughout the case. And so the Cosmos C700M is geared towards modders and individuals who don't mind the challenge of cable management, since the backside is totally bare, so good luck. But I do like the upgraded shroud, additional modularity on the motherboard tray as a concept, despite not having access to the I/O, and the exterior upgrades over the original. But I'm personally more excited about the SL600M to really test that chimney effect, because it's not a new system, but I'm happy that it's making a return now. Alright guys, so that's it for Cooler Master cases. Make sure to check out this other relevant content. I'm Dimitri, and we'll see you in the next video. By the way, this is not a dress.